Alright, time for the solutions to the constructions practice. And obviously, well, it's not obviously, well, I don't have really the tools to show you that digitally. So what it is, I did the constructions on a piece of paper, and I'm going to show you my solutions for that, and just kind of explain how I got them. Again, these are constructions, and you just gotta work it out yourself. It's not like there's some magic way to just skip around. You gotta use your compass, and it's different for each one because each one's slightly different sizes. So anyway, to do a perpendicular bisector, you need to start with your compass on one end, go out to a hole of your choice that's farther than halfway, pick a hole and draw an arc. If you notice on this one, it was like barely farther than halfway, but I got that as my first arc. And then you take your compass, put the center at the other end, and use the same hole to make the same an arc with the same radius. And once you have that, you're going to get two intersection points. You draw your line between them like so, and that'll give you your perpendicular bisector. That line you draw that goes between the 2 points. On 2, you notice how I messed up, like all these squiggles here. Those are arcs that weren't long enough. Notice how I only went like halfway. You have to go farther than halfway when you put your compass out and you pick a radius. So on the second time, mine was out that far. It was definitely farther than halfway. And so that's just an example of what yours look like. Your perpendicular bisector will be there. On 3, you need to construct a copy of the angle. Start out by putting your compass here at the vertex. Oh, I guess that's not where you start. Start out by drawing a ray. You usually need to draw a ray that goes out. So that's step 1, is drawing a ray that goes out. Step 2 is taking your compass, put your center the vertex, and go out to your favorite radius, and draw an arc that goes through both sides of the angle. Use that same radius over here on the other side to draw a corresponding arc. And make sure it's big enough so like your angle will definitely cross it. So that's how you get those. That's where these two arcs come from. This last arc right here that gives you this intersection point comes from taking your compass, putting it over here, and figure out what radius gives you that intersection. You'll then take your compass and put your center over here. This intersection you already have with the arc, and use that same hole to make a little arc out here. Once you have that, you're going to get two intersecting arcs. Once you have that point, you can draw your line from the vertex through that point, and you'll have an angle copied. So on the next one, again, the angle was opening this way, and I decided to kind of turn it. And that's one of the things with construction, is you can reorient things however much you want. But I use the same steps. Again, copy an arc, use the same radius for arc, and then put your compass at one end to measure out how far it is to the other intersection, and use that same radius to make another arc over here. That will give you the intersections you need. Moving on to 5, draw a segment that's 3 times as long. To do that, draw a ray. One that's longer than 3 times as long. And then you can take your compass, put it over here, and figure out what hole gives you a radius from your one end to the other. Once you have that, you come over here, put your compass here, use the same hole to draw an arc. Again, you're not just putting a point, you're doing an arc. And where that arc crosses your ray, that's where your point's going to meet up. So this segment is just as long as this segment. Once you do that, you're going to pick up your compass, use the same radius to do these other arcs. You have to do it twice more. So if you want to do 3 times as long, you have to do 3 arcs to get that exact distance, so 3 times as long. And this one, same thing. Draw a ray, use a compass with the same radius as from there to there to draw your other arcs over here. And once you have those, from this point to your starting point is 3 times as long. Moving on to constructing a parallel line. Okay, step 1 is you need to draw a line, draw a ray, a line, that goes through the point that's not on the line and your original line. That's step one. Because what happens is here, I've made an angle right here. I have a nice little angle I made by drawing that line. And I need to copy this angle right here. So this vertex and this vertex match up. This line over here matches with this line. And this other line is going to match up over here, but you don't have another point on this side yet. And so to do that, you're going to copy the angle. Again, make an arc big enough that's going to go, your angle will be able to go through both sides. And then you measure with your compass how far it is from this center, this intersection over here. And you use that same radius to draw another arc over here. And you're going to get the two intersecting arcs, and you draw your line through those. Again, if you're stuck on these, like, be sure you check out the videos on YouTube. That'll kind of explain it in more detail. How much more do we got? Oh, we got quite a bit. And so I'm gonna get through 8, and then I'll stop this video. Again, this one, same steps. Draw a line that goes through the point and your initial line. And once you have that, you're gonna have an angle. I decided to copy this angle, but you copy this angle, so it's right there. And once you have that, you'll be able to have your line that goes through your point that's not on the line.